Snapshot 2. A lot happens between snapshot 1 and snapshot 2. David's star rose very quickly in Israel. There was that whole duel thing with Goliath. And then David became a hero in Saul's army, winning battles left and right. Unfortunately for David, Saul eventually clued into the fact that this wasn't just any old young warrior. This was his designated replacement. And so he became incredibly jealous of David. It was, in fact, an all-consuming jealousy. And yet, despite having opportunity after opportunity to take Saul's life, David waits. He does not hurt Saul, even though God had promised that one day he would take Saul's throne for himself. Crazily enough, as much patience and restraint as David demonstrated, his life got more complicated and more uncomfortable. So bad, in fact, that David had to hide out in the desert with his band of outlaws. In one particular desert lived a wealthy sheep herder by the name of Nabal. David, despite his reputation as a brigand, made sure that no harm came to the sheep of Nabal and that his men were assured of good treatment. At Christmas time, well, it wasn't Christmas, but at holiday time, David sent his men to Nabal to ask whether he would supply them with a few sheep so they could have a feast with their families. Nabal told them to take a hike. And when David heard about Nabal's response after all he had done for him in the desert, he told 400 of his men to load their weapons and get in the jeeps. It was business time. It was time to get her done. No one was going to treat him, the future king of Israel, the Lord's anointed, like that. It would have been game over for Nabal if it hadn't been for his exceptionally intelligent wife, Abigail. I know many of you men are grateful to have a person like that in your life. Abigail intercepted David on the desert road to Nabal's house with a supply truck full of bread and wine and fruit and dessert. "My husband is an idiot," she said. "That's actually what his name means, fool. Forgive him, please. I know God is with you and that he is going to make you king." And then she says something incredibly intelligent. This is 1 Samuel 25, starting in verse 30. "When the Lord has done for my master every good thing he has promised concerning him, and has appointed him leader over Israel, my master will not have on his conscience the staggering burden of needless bloodshed or of having avenged himself. And when the Lord has brought my master success, remember your servant." David said to Abigail, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you today to meet me. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself with my own hands." "You are going to be king," Abigail says, "because God has promised to put the crown on you. But when you get it," she said, "you don't want the guilt of killing an innocent man on your hands. Let it go, David. Don't let this obstacle cause you to set aside your obedience to God. Let God take care of Nabal in God's way and in God's timing. No shortcuts.